Hello, English readers and book lovers. This is day 3 of our live read along of Little Women, this beautiful piece of art piece of Louisa May Alcott, this beautiful story of 4 little girls, little sisters, 4 sisters, who are living in America, in the countryside, and they are quite poor, and they are helping their mother and their sisters. I mean, the eldest sisters, the 2 eldest sisters are working to bring money into the house and try to look after their little sisters, because their dad is at war, because the story is happening in the middle of the American Civil War, which is the fight between the north of the north of America, sorry, and the south of America, fighting for different reasons, for land, for about politics, and also about slavery. Yeah, that this is the origin sort of their fight, and they're fighting as well for this cause, and everyone fight for their own interest, of course, and the South wanting to keep slavery going on, and the North more intellectual or more evolved into the freedom of, hello Melissa, or more educated, and more into the freedom of the man, and all men, not just white people, but also Black people and slave. So this is the historical background of this book. So that was a little introduction here. Let's see who is joining us today live on Instagram. I have changed the timings of my lives on Instagram for logistic reasons. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday at 6 p.m. CET, Paris time. And on Wednesdays, it's 2 p.m. Paris time, or Central European time. So that, oh, hi Adele, welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. How are you today? I'm glad that you were able to join us today. Welcome, welcome. So it should be, so it's 2 p.m. Paris time, but I think in Turkey, as we were discussing yesterday, it's I checked and it's 2 hours. So you have to add 2 hours. So it's probably 4 p.m., I guess, in Turkey, for example. I know that if you live, I don't know, maybe in Brazil, then yay, nice. If you live in Brazil, for example, that the time zone has much more difference. I think you have to, it's 4 p.m. here, yeah. You have to add, you have to remove 6 hours, 6 hours, something like that. So it's the time difference, the gap is much bigger. So luckily you were able to join us today, and I'm going to do a quick recap. I did a little introduction of the book and the historical background, the Civil War, and why they have to work and take care of their family. Why the two eldest sisters, Jo and Meg, have to work to help out with the family expenses, because it's their dad is at war. So I was doing this little recap, and yesterday we read chapter 2, and today we will be reading chapter 3. So in chapter 1, we just we met the 4 March sisters, and it is Christmas Eve, and the sisters are sort of reflecting on their behavior and how they and what they should do to be more respectable, or to be better, in a way, to behave better, to so that their mother and father will be happy, especially because their dad is away. So the mother receive a letter from the dad, and he is looking forward to seeing them when he will be back. And for that, the girls are making big decisions. So, for example, Jo decides that she will stop being, she will try not to be too wild and free and rough. While I don't know, another sister says that she will try to not be selfish. Selfish is means that you do things, you think about yourself only. So she will try to be less selfish, and they decide to buy beautiful presents for their mother. So there is a bottle of perfume, gloves here, handkerchiefs, and slippers. So they are very excited to make this surprise to their mother. So that was chapter 2. In chapter 1, sorry. In chapter 2, it's Christmas Day, Christmas morning, and they're waiting for their mother to have breakfast together. But their mother is out because there is this poor woman with her 6 children who is very cold and very hungry and poor, and she decides to help her. And when the mother comes back home, she asks her daughters to be if they would be kind to share their breakfast with the mother and her 6 children. And straight away, without really hesitating, the girls, I mean, they sort of, at first there is a big silence in the room, but then it's Jo, the second daughter, who stands up and lead the way and says, okay, let's, and she starts packing up the breakfast into a basket and wrapping all the stuff. So and from that point, then her sisters follow the lead, and they all go to visit this mother, this poor mother with her children. And later in that day, they decide, so the 4 sisters decide to create a play to entertain the other kids, other girls in the village, probably. And they decide to do this play. So it's really nice with this edition because they have added illustrations, as you can see here, so that can help you or your students to visualize and help the understanding of the story. And it's always nice to have little pictures, even as an adult, or it's nice to be able to see how it's been illustrated. And so they are going to do this play, and they, at the end of the play, they're going to receive some presents, but also flowers. And they're going to be very surprised about who those flowers are coming from. And apparently, according to their mother, it's from the old Mr. Laurence. So there is a Laurence family, and there is a boy called the Laurence boy, and it's his grandfather who sent the flowers. I think they were flowers. Were they flowers? Yeah, flowers and French chocolate, ice cream, cake, fruit. Yeah, so it was all of this, all the food and the flowers. So they are all wondering who this come from, and then so they learn that it's from the Laurence boy's grandfather, and they start talking about this Laurence boy, who Jo sees quite often on her way. I don't know, where to church or to work. I don't know. I can't remember. What does she say? That she's seen him, but she wants to try to talk to him. But her sister Meg is her older sister. Meg is very strict on how girls should behave. So she doesn't really like that. She finds in the streets, yeah, when Jo wants to speak to him when he passes in the street, Meg doesn't really like that and prefers her to and she prefers her not to talk to him because she considers that it's impolite for a young lady to talk to strangers. But Jo is not quite easily influenced, and she would like to help this boy or to be friend with this boy to bring some fun in his life, because apparently he is working hard, doing writing and other, or studying really hard. So this boy is very busy, and she would like to bring some fun and joy in his life, in his day-to-day life. So that's where we stopped, chapter 2. Now let's start chapter 3, the Laurence boy, and know more about him. Let's start. Look, said Meg, excitedly a day or two later. She waved a piece of paper at Jo. An invitation to a New Year's party at Sally's Gardiner's house. It's for both of us. So Meg and Jo, the eldest. Mother says we can go, but what shall we wear? Our best cotton dresses, said Jo, because we haven't got anything else. Yours is as good as new, but mine has a burn and a hole in the back. Then you must keep your back out of sight, said Meg. I'll have a new ribbon for my hair, and my new slippers and my gloves are all right. Mine are stained, so I have to go without. You must wear gloves to a dance, Jo. cried Meg. Sorry. Then we'll each wear one good one and carry a bad one, said Jo. Which is quite nice actually to share the kind of um, so this way there is no sister that is left out, one wearing only nice clothes and nice gloves and the other one just wearing the ones that are damaged. So I think Joe's reaction is quite fair, but Meg looked worried. All right, but you will behave nicely, won't you? Don't stare or put your hands behind your back. On New Year's Eve, the two younger sisters watched the two older girls get ready for the party. There was a lot of running up and down and laughing and talking. Meg wanted some curls around her face. So Jo began to work on the papered ends of Meg's hair with a pair of hot tongs. Should they smoke like that? Asked Beth. It's the wetness drying, said Jo. What a strange burning smell, said Amy. I'll take the paper off now, said Jo, and you will see lots of little curls. She took the paper off, and to her horror, the burnt hair came off with them. So she burned her sister's hair while she was doing her some curls. I think that they put some papers, and the thing is, it burned her hair. Jo burned Meg's hair. She took the paper off, and to her horror, the burnt hair came off with them. What have you done to my hair? Cried Meg. I always get things wrong, said Jo unhappily. I'm so sorry. I suppose the tongs were too hot. Oh my God, look at the picture. Here, this is Meg. Look at her face. Oh my God. And that's probably Jo, and that's Jo here. Looking at the hair. You've got the hair here on the paper. So here on the video, here you can see that's Meg, and here that's Jo, who is looking at the hair on the paper burned. Don't worry, Amy told Meg, who was crying. Just tie your ribbon so that the ends come onto your forehead as a little, and it will look quite fashionable. So a ribbon is this. It's if you're not sure, the ribbon is the let me check. Yeah, it's this. What she holds, that's probably Emmy here. She holds a ribbon. This is like a tissue, a long tissue where you put a knot, and it's called a ribbon. At last, Meg and Jo were ready and went off to the Gardiner's house, where Mrs. Gardiner welcomed them kindly. Meg immediately began to enjoy herself with Sally. But Jo wasn't interested in girlish talk and stood with her back carefully against the wall, watching the dancing. Soon, Meg asked to dance. Then Jo saw a big red-haired boy coming towards her, and she quickly went through a door into a small room. Unfortunately, another shy person was already hiding there, and she found herself looking at the Laurence boy. So the Laurence boy was hiding from the party as well. Oh dear, I don't know anyone I didn't know anyone was here, Jo said. The boy laughed. Don't go. I came in here because I don't know any people, but I think I've seen you before, he said. You live near us, don't you? Next door, said Jo. We enjoyed your nice Christmas present. My grandfather sent it, Miss March. But you gave your grandfather the ID, didn't you, Mr. Laurence? I'm not Mr. Laurence, only Laurie, he said. And I'm not Miss March, only Jo. Don't you like parties? Sometimes, he answered. I've been abroad a lot recently, and I don't know how you do things here. Abroad, said Jo. Oh, did you go to Paris? We went there last winter. Can you speak French? She asked. He said something in French, and Jo listened carefully. You asked. Sorry. You asked, who is the young lady in the pretty sleeper? It's my sister, Meg, and you knew it was. Do you think she's pretty? She's pretty? Mm-hmm. Yes, he said. She looks so fresh and quiet. This pleased Jo very much, and soon the two of them were talking easily like old friends. I hear you're always studying hard, said Jo. Are you going to college soon? Not for a year or two, he said. I'm 16 next month, and I won't go before I'm 17. I wish I was going to college, said Jo. I hate even the idea of it, said Laurie. Ooh, is not very excited going to college. To the contrary of Jo, who would love to go to college. Jo wanted to know why, but he looked so serious that instead of asking, she said, Why don't you go and dance? I will if you come too, he answered. I can't because... Jo stopped. Because what? You won't tell? Never. I've a bad habit of standing near a fire, and I burn my dresses, said Jo. I have to keep still so that no one will see the burn on this one. Laugh if you like. But Laurie didn't laugh. Never mind, he said gently. Please come. Jo smiled. All right, she said. Thank you. When the music stopped, they sat down and began to talk. But Jo saw Meg waving at her. She went over and followed her sister into a side room. I've done my foot over and hurt my ankle, said Meg. I can't walk on it, and I don't know how I'm going to get home. I'm not surprised you turned your foot over in those stupid high shoes, said Jo. You have to get a carriage or stay here all night. A carriage? A carriage will cost a lot. A carriage is what you see often in old, in period drama films or series. It's basically what they used as a car. So you've got the two horses, and then you've got the cabin, sort of, the wooden cabin in which you can have two or four, I mean, depending on the size of it. And then you walk inside and you can sit. This is the transportation of the time. So that's called a carriage. A carriage will cost a lot, said Meg. And I can't stay here for the night because the house is full. I'll just rest until Hannah comes to fetch us. Then do the best I can. They're going in for supper now, said Jo. I'll stay with you. No, run and bring me some coffee, said Meg. Jo found the coffee, but immediately dropped some down the front of her dress. Oh my God. She's not very she's so clumsy. Clumsy is a word, C-L-U-M-S-Y. Clumsy means that every time that she touches something, it falls off, or she breaks stuff. So she's clumsy. So Jo found the coffee, but immediately dropped some down the front of her dress. She was cleaning it off with Meg's glove when a friendly voice spoke to her. "Can I help?" said Laurie. He had a cup of coffee in one hand and a plate with a cake on it in the other. "I was trying to get something for Meg," said Jo. "And I was looking for someone to give this to," he said. He fetched more coffee and a cake for Jo. Then the three of them had a happy time talking together until Hannah arrived. She cried out with pain, and when Laurie saw that she could not walk, he immediately offered to take them home in his grandfather's carriage. That's very kind. "But you can't want to go home yet," said Jo. "I always go early," said Laurie. He sat with the driver, and the two girls sat with Hannah inside the carriage and talked excitedly about the party. I had a wonderful time, did you?" said Jo. "Yes, until I hurt myself," said Meg. "Sally's friend, Annie Moffat, has asked me to go and stay with her for a week." Clumsy. C-L-U. I'm going to write it in the chat. Clumsy. So yeah. Sorry, where was I? Yes, until I hurt myself, said Meg. "Sally's friend, Annie Moffat, has asked me to go and stay with her for a week for a week in the spring when Sally does. Jo told Meg her adventures, and then they were home. They thanked Laurie and went quietly into the house, hoping to wake no one. But as soon as they opened their bedroom door, two little voices cried out, "Tell us about the party! Tell us about the party!" And that's the end of chapter 3. So you see here, that's a carriage. Yeah, I think that you understood, I guess, when I mentioned the word. So this is the carriage, and Laurie took them home in his grandfather's carriage. So you've got the picture all over the book here. So here's the carriage arriving to the house here. I guess that's the house. Yes, that's nice. Yeah, so that's the end. Carriage. Yes, that's right. Interesting. Okay, that's a word that I'm glad that you didn't know that word and that now you know. Great. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, so that was a nice little event happening with the eldest sisters, and we get to know a little bit more about their character and how clumsy is Jo, and the fact that she doesn't really know how to behave in a social gathering. Are you? Yeah, it's not always easy. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, as long as you try, we all make mistakes when we speak. I don't know if it's about English, but we always have this fear of making mistakes and all that. And even when you are fluent, you are you always make mistakes. What level do you have, Ada? Do you know what level you have in English? Because no matter what level we have, it's always funny, especially when you want to say, when you're in a conversation and you want to express yourself, you have lots of ideas that you want to say, and your mistakes comes back again. I'm not sure, but I think it's B1. B1, it's, yeah, you're probably intermediate. I mean, I think that if you're able, you were saying that yesterday you understood the story. I think that you're probably intermediate. Yeah, because it's quite the level that targets this this book. Yeah, so it's an adaptation for stage 2, they say, which is, you can see here, this is a 2000, they re-edited in 2008, so it's not super recent. So you can see here the level is in between. You see B1, B2. So it says B1, B2, but I would say it's a little bit lower. I would say that it's more A to B1 in terms of the length of the paragraph, the chapters. Oh, you bought the book. How did you buy it as a digital version, or how do you, oh, that's great. Amazing. Did you buy it on Amazon or on the website? How did you get it? I'm so glad. Amazing. Let me know. Because you also have this edition, but that's really for beginners. It's A1. That one is for A1. And this is the reason I like Penguin Readers editions. Oh, you found a PDF format? Really? Ah, okay. Great. And you found it's PDF. Oh, okay. So there is a PDF of that edition. That's great. And that was, I guess that was for free then. Okay, that's nice. And that's great that you managed to find, it's the same publisher, that edition. Okay. Ah, I did. Yeah, it's free. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so you didn't have uh to to buy the book, because it's I mean, those books, I have to say, are I mean, how much did I pay this one? It's quite €8. It depends the currency, but if the currency in your country is, there is a big difference between euros, or I don't know, in the in your country, then it might be expensive. Yeah, I guess. So I'm glad that you were able to find a free version of it and get to know that story and be able to read that amazing classic of American literature. Because of course, I mean, 5 or 6 euros might not be expensive for, as a person who's living in a rich country. Different classes. Yeah, I have other books from this publisher. Ah, I see. As a PDF. Ah, different classics for English learners. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's not always affordable for everyone to be able to buy those books. And when you like to read, it's great that they make this available. They put a free version of it. Paper books. Ah, okay, that's nice. That's great. I was saying, so that I love this editor, Penguin, and Penguin Random House, and they have this edition of graded readers, And but the thing is, this one is for A1, so very beginner levels, but it's so cute inside. You've got all the pictures, and it's so nice to have this. If you want to read to little children, it's a very nice it's a very nice read. So that's why I bought it anyway. But I will do a podcast, live reading podcast of this one for French learners of English. But so that's the reason why I picked this one for this live read along, because there is a bit more details and it's more adult than the Penguin Readers version. But it's nice as well, because so far I only used Penguin Readers, so it's nice to see the Oxford Bookworms version. But sometimes if I can't find, I look for it on the internet. Yeah, that's great. It's this is where we can see that this is where you can see how amazing internet is, and how much access you can have to culture and to literature, and I'd rather to see those kind of positive things about internet than only see there's always extremes, of course, in everything. There's always good and bad, but those are the amazing things about internet and technology, and and social media as well. The fact that we are able to have access to materials that can elevate us and educate us and teach us about life, or culture, and so that we feel that we are learning as well. So it's nice. Listen. You've been listening to my podcast. So thank you so much. I've got episode 5 episode 6 that was just released. I'm talking about a concept that it's called extensive reading, and it's a literary concept in language learning and teaching. Are you studying English, Ada, or are you a teacher of English? Let me know. And I'm talking about this concept of extensive reading, and how I came across that idea. Yeah, very lovely. Thank you for your reading and having this kind of page. Oh, thank you. Yes, let me know if you are learning English, if you're a student, or if you're a teacher as well, or let me know a little bit about you. And how you started, and yeah, what do you do at what's your level? So sorry, why do you want to read in English? Are you a student or are you a teacher? I'm not a teacher, but I'm trying to learn English. I've been learning for ages. Oh, nice. That's great. And you want to learn English because you feel like it's gonna help you to find a job, or it's just for your own pleasure to learn English, or maybe because you travel. Let me know why. Let me know why you want to. I want to advance my English level. Okay, for you, both for work, okay, and pleasure. That's nice. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Amazing. Do you know that I'm hosting on every Saturday, but that's part of my book club, and and for that you have to join the book club and be a member. But if you want to improve your speaking skills, I have this weekly meeting on weekly meetup on Zoom every Saturday morning. So it's at 9 a.m. But for you, that means that it will be 9 to 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. I'm doing a weekly virtual meetup every Saturday. But for that, you have to be a member of the book club. And if you're interested, you can just look at the page and see if it's something. Of course, it's not for free. There is a subscription of 30 euros per month. So I don't know if it's something that it's affordable for you, but in any case, you can still subscribe. Subscribe if it's something that it's not really affordable for you yet, then you can subscribe to the newsletter so that you will get access to other information, and you will be in the loop of any event or maybe free stuff that I will do in the future. If you want to, you just go on the you click on the link, join the book club, and then you will see the page, my website page, and you can just subscribe to the, oh no, I think in the link you can just subscribe to the newsletter. Yeah. I know it's a bit about you and your work. It's amazing and it's very good, but I'm not able to get to log in. I'm not able to get to log in. No, you can't log in. It's because you can't log in. I don't, because you can only subscribe to be a member. The thing is, to be a member, you have to there is a little video on my Instagram. You have to, I can't pay, it's a bit expensive. Okay, yeah, it's too expensive for you. So that's why, but just, okay, then just subscribe to the newsletter. So this way you will have, it's fine. I know it's not easy for everyone. But make sure you subscribe to the newsletter, and maybe if I'm doing a discount at some point, or if I have any other, if I offer a free class or something, you will know in the newsletter. Yeah. So subscribing to the newsletter is free, you see. So on the page, when you click on my link in my bio, you have joined the book club, and then you have yeah, and then you have subscribed to the newsletter. Just subscribe to the newsletter for now, and I hope that you'll be able to join and be a member. Hi, Katie. It's gonna be a quick I'm gonna say hi and goodbye. I'm so sorry, I just read the chapter. I finished the reading of the chapter. I'm so sorry. Hello. I'm so sorry for you. I've just finished the live. I was just chatting with Hada and discussing about her learning journey, about her reading journey in English. She was talking a little bit about herself. So we were just chatting. So now it's going to be the end of my live soon. So I guess you will be able to watch it. Nice to see you here. Hi. I guess that you will be able to watch it, to watch the replay. Yeah. Oh, it's so nice for you to be able to be there. Yeah. So tomorrow we will read chapter 4. Yes. The House Next Door. You're welcome. Thank you so much. We will read chapter 4, and it's gonna be at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Okay, Paris time. So no problem. Have a great end of the day. Enjoy the rest of your day, sorry. And I will see you tomorrow for chapter 4. Bye bye.